We wish to share with you coming news about what is to take place in the year ahead of 2024, just now. We understand that there are coming elections which are of concern to most of you. Whether they affect you directly or indirectly, we understand that most of you are concerned about it. Welcome back to Awaken the Game. My name is Andreas and I'm excited to be here with you for another channel transmission to support your ascension, your new earth activation, your galactic upgrade. We are here because we know that we are on a mission. There is something in your being that is telling you that we are at a very pivotal moment in human history. And it is my mission, it is my intention and my vision to be able to support you as a fellow light being, as a fellow starseed, as a fellow angelic soul, perhaps something else even, along that mission. Today we have a special transmission. I've already connected to my team, which is the Galactic Council of 9, and they are like my soul, my higher self. They are like my soul branch. But I've gone above that today because I am in contact with the Angelic Realm. And I'm just tuning into the Angelic Realm because they are here to deliver the message today. And it is not one particular angel. Archangel Michael came in right at the beginning just to create the protection for this channel in the highest good. However, the angelic, you can think of the entire Angelic Realm as a collective, are here in this channeling for us. I'm ready to go, so let's just take a moment to tune into the channel and I will get straight into it. We are one with the light, and we are one with God, and we are here in this transmission. We are the Galactic Council of 9, and we have come in just to bridge the transmission into the Angelic Realm first and foremost. We are on Andreas's soul team, and we want to welcome you into this transmission. We know this is a little bit unorthodox. We have not done this here before, and yet we are saying that we are wanting to invite you to imagine a violet flame around you. Imagine that your entire being is surrounded by a flame of violet light, purple, indigo, violet light, and it is radiant and it has divinity within its essence. And as you breathe this in, you are being transformed into your highest potential. As you inhale this beautiful violet flame, it connects into your heart and into your higher being and allows that to come through you now so that you can receive this transmission from the highest place within you. Let us take just a breath to inhale that beautiful essence of your divinity into your cells, like you are inhaling God, and exhaling to rest into that. This is all we came to share with you. We are delighted to bring in the Angelic Realm today, and we are working with Andreas and them to support you in this mission. Andreas is an angelic soul at his soul being. And so it makes sense that this is taking place, and it will continue to take place more and more as his own energy, his own vibration continues to ascend. As it is occurring for you. Yes, we are ready. Are you ready, Andreas? Then we shall proceed. In 3, 2, 1. Andreas, breathe in that violet flame. See the angel wings around you. See your own wings. See your own angelic form. Entering through the third eye. Open your voice. There is some angel song to begin our transmission. We are the Angelic Realm. We have an angel song to deliver to you through Andreas first before we speak in the language of your peoples on earth. One of, we care to say. Andreas, you just need to sit and be in the light that you are. And we encourage those listening to sit and stay in the light that they are, in the violet flame light that they are as they receive this transmission. And we encourage you to listen, even if you are not one for light language. We think it would be in your best interest if it resonates in your heart being. Let us begin. We ask you to slow down, taking note of the space that is in that. What we care to share with you all today is a message about hope. It is about what is coming. It is about what can be of support for you in it. We are acknowledging to the vessel, Andreas, that there is a very energetically demanding time that is upon the earth now, and that is going to stay and play out over the next couple of months. We are highlighting 2024 as the time frame that we are speaking to, and we acknowledge the diversity of experience within what we share today, for we acknowledge that you, as a created being, are here to create your own reality, and that one may choose to take what we say and allow it to inspire them to choose a better reality for themselves, for their family, for their reality. This slowness that we speak to is what we in the Angelic Realm see as supportive of your energy as the world continues to grow louder and big figures on your stages across the globe prepare themselves to speak faster, louder, stronger, shouting, screaming, firing their words at you, and we mean at you. We ask that this slowness in your being is something that you cultivate in your daily waking state. For when you are moving and trying to catch up to the speed at what is taking place around you, when you try and match all of that, yes, we are speaking to the political elections. We are speaking to the war games. We are speaking to all of these things that your Earth Collective has chosen to experience here at this time. We believe that being in your slowness, being connected to your essence, will support you to navigate through this period of time with more grace, yes, but more connection into what matters, into you, your heart. You can choose to get wrapped up in all of this goings on around you. You can choose to lose yourself in it. You can choose your frustration, your bitterness, your disapproval. You can choose all of that. And we in the angelic realm, we will love you anyway, because we always love you. That's why we're here. We want you to know that you are us. You are divinity. We see that. The problem is not that we don't. The problem can be that people on this earth experience of yours don't see that in themselves. Do you see that in you? Because we are here to remind you that that is what is the truth. And also to acknowledge that you can choose whether or not you create that for yourself. That slowness is connected into the divinity, into the wings of you, into the divine wings that you are. We are showing Andreas that when he connects into that pace of slowness that is just inherently in the being when you are connected into the present moment, the now moment, as Andreas would say, that you are able to connect into your own divine essence. And for you, this may not look like an angelic experience. It could look like an earthly experience or a galactic one. Whatever your soul frequency sings to, listen to the humming of your heart. Because it knows what excites you, what enlivens you, and follow that. You don't need to worry about figuring it out. This is the joy of what we're all collectively supporting you to step into here. This is the fifth dimensional paradigm that you are desiring so hard to create. No one tells you in that paradigm, in that bandwidth of experience, in that consciousness framework, no one tells you what to do. No one tells you who you are. No one tells you that this is how it is and you are right if you choose this, but you are wrong if you choose that. That doesn't exist in the fifth dimensional paradigm state, because you in the fifth dimensional paradigm state are connected in to your sovereign creator beingness. And in that, you are able to create whatever you desire. That is the point. You get to decide. We were saying to Andreas before this channeling, decide, Andreas. Decide. Just make the decision about who you are and what you're connected to and who your soul gets to be. Who is going to tell you that you are wrong? Who gets to do that? Who has the knowing or the power or the ability, or we are showing Andreas that no one has the power to hold their truth over yours unless you give that to them. And this applies to not just people around you, but to these people on the stages of your political world. Only you can hand your sovereign power to them. Only you can choose that. And only you can choose to stay anchored in your own essence, your own light, and to see all of this unfolding as a delightful play of events. We understand the word delightful may not resonate for all of you, but we are saying that because that is the attitude we here in the angelic realm always choose. we are not concerned. We are not frightened, and we acknowledge that perhaps we have more ability to be in the foresight of what is to come, to see the bigger picture. And yet if you tune into your heart and your slowness, again, it's the only way to listen is to be in the slowness, to stop. When you do this, you are able to tune into that knowingness more about what the reality of this experience that you call Earth is. It is not so dire and doom. It isn't, unless you choose it to be. Choose wisely. Choose with joy. Choose with the choice that you would make as your inner self, child self. The delight that they take in just being in the world. The choice to abandon that part of you is also a choice. So choose what feels right for you. As these coming days continue to unfold, oh, the things that are coming your way. And we mean good things. We mean enjoyable things. We mean great delights. The rainbows in your sky that you have been seeing due to increased solar activity, you get to decide what that means. You get to decide if that means good or bad. And that decision will affect how you feel. And that decision will affect how you see reality around you. And that decision will affect your emotional state and your experience every day. Whether you decide that you are in a war that you need to fight, whether you decide that you are a sovereign being that gets to delight. You always get to be in the choice, and everything in between. There is no right or wrong choice. Who are we to tell you that there is? Again, we remind you of your fifth dimensional sovereign state, what you are seeking. If you are to truly own that state, then you must decide for yourself what is true and what is not. And when you don't know, let it go. Let it go. We want to remind you of the breath that you took when you were a baby, when you first were born into this world from your mother, of those first breaths that you took, when your soul merged with this planetary frequency that you call home for now. Those early breaths, where breath was all that was and all that will be and all that is, where all you knew was breath. You knew nothing else. Your consciousness was there in fullness, fully aware, fully anchored, and yet your human self, your individual soul fragment of the human, that represents but a tiny fraction of who your fullness is. It was so new and so non-formed at that point, where no conditioning had taken place, where no ego had developed, that all it knew was breath. And we are encouraging you to go back to that state of being, of mindfulness, of choice, where all you know is breath. And through that breath, you navigate what is in front of you in your world. Let that purple divine flame, the violet light, remind you of your divinity. There is nothing else you must do. Just being slow, breath, here, where you are, where your feet stand on your place in your part of the world, by being so present. And yet we see the sheer resistance that the egoic human mind has to this. Why? Why does it resist being here in the now? For it knows that it cannot exist there. Your mind knows, your egoic aspect knows that it cannot exist with such ferociousness and influence over you, your higher you, the inner you. It can't influence you when you are dedicated to the now moment that you are in. When you decide to make that the core key of your focus. When you breathe into that. When you make the breath the point. When you aren't concerned about tomorrow, and you aren't concerned about next year, and you aren't concerned about 2027. You're concerned about now. And bringing your moment, your presence into that now. We know that you have heard this all before, and yet here we are reminding you. We feel it is necessary to remind you, and we will continue to. For we sing from that place that is now, and we ask you to align yourself to that. The power of that, the truth of that, the privilege of that, the inner knowing that comes from that place, so anchored into your divinity, so accessed into it. We wish to share with you coming news about what is to take place in the year ahead of 2024, just now. Nothing further. We understand that there are coming elections which are of concern to most of you. Whether they affect you directly or indirectly, we understand that most of you are concerned about it. We want you to know that there is nothing to fear, that the loss is not going to occur in the way you see it. There is no losing in the way you see it. We understand that Andreas brought through a transmission some months ago that it will feel like everyone is lost. And this is true if you are tuned into that bandwidth of frequency, if you are deciding that you just stay connected to what you see and you lose your sight of the inner knowing that knows the bigger picture, then if you take that, dare we say it, lower perspective, then you will feel so lost, so broken, so disappointed by the outcomes of this. And yet if you let go of that, if you stay in the knowingness that you are so sovereign, that you are breathing in the moment that you are in now, letting go of what this means and who is going to be in charge and where will my power be given to? When you let go of that and you trust in what you are and who you are and who's around you, you trust in humanity and who you are as a collective and what you can be and what you can achieve together. When that power is not given to some man on a podium, but rather given in to you and to those around you. When you choose that, when you choose to live in that knowing, to let that frequency create your reality around you, then you won't lose, you can't lose. In fact, dare we say it, you won't care what happens or what the outcome is, because the outcome of that election doesn't dictate on you how you feel, because you have chosen to not let that outcome dictate how you feel, because you've taken your power back from that. And this is but one example. And sometimes here from the galactic perspective, or in our case, the angelic perspective, often we have been received from others as though we are apathetic to the experience of your earthly reality. It is not that case. It is not that way. It is not that we don't see the suffering that is upon you as humans, and yet always we will remind you that that suffering is so optional based on how you respond, based on how you perceive, based on how you decide that these worldly events will impact you. We don't want to take away from any experience of those who are directly impacted by such world events, particularly military games that are taking place right now. We understand that those who are directly impacted are going to experience a tremendous level of suffering on the core of them. Yet we would say that their suffering is only your suffering should you choose it to be. The recognition that their sole choice to be where they are and to incarnate into the place that they are, to have the experience that their soul chose to come here to have, that is your choice to make. We can't make you make that choice, and we don't want you to make that choice unless it feels aligned to you. But nevertheless, we would ask you which one is the one that is going to benefit you, the collective, and your frequency, so that all of those around you benefit from you being uplifted, as opposed to being tuned into, plugged into the suffering of your consciousness on a global scale. Plugging into the matrix, you might say. Are you here to do that, or are you here to unplug? Are you here to be in the position of sovereignty and a position of inner power, empowerment? The choice is yours. We care to offer you just some final words. We want to say that we are so thrilled to be with you here. We are always available to you. You are always able to access us. Even if you feel like you aren't worthy of it, you are. That is a choice in itself. And we will remind you of how worthy you are each and every day through every breath that you take. For every breath that you take is a breath of love. It is a breath of life. It is a breath of consciousness that you ingest into your beingness. Let the breath have that much power, for you can choose for it to be so. There is so much that we could say, and yet we feel that this is enough for today, and we will be coming back to you through Andreas on this channel. We are saying, and we are preparing Andreas to receive more and more future messages from us as his angelic team. For this is part of his own design. This is part of his own dharma, if you will. His own galactic mission here. His own soul sovereign mission is to be this messenger. And each of you will each have your own experience of how you receive this. Allow that to be the case. We hope that we have been supportive for you today, and we trust that if anything has been brought up for you, that it has been brought up for the right reasons, so that you can look in at your own shadows and you can look in at your own heart and say, how do I decide to choose going forward? How do I decide to choose going into November and December and then into the new year under this new leadership that will come through? You can only decide. And who is that leader? Is it a man on a podium? Or do you choose to take that power back for yourself? This is all. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come through. We are bowing to you. We are bowing to you. We are bowing to Andreas as the vessel for this message, and we are handing back over to the Galactic Council of 9. Thank you, Andreas. We love you. We love you. We honor you. We care for you all. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you, Andreas and the Angelic Realm. We are the Galactic Council of 9. We've just realigned to Andreas's frequency here, and we are very excited that this transmission took place today. We care to just finish off this transmission with a quick note that we are going to be taking hold for some time, actually. And this is news to Andreas. It is coming through now, and Andreas is sitting here going, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And yet we are telling you, Andreas, that the Angelic Realm are going to take over for a while now, because we have agreed with you at the soul level to bring through more of your angelic essence. We feel that this is going to support the collective at this time, especially with all of the goings on around you in your political world that the angelic team were speaking to. And we are very excited to take a little step back so that the angelic realm will continue to bring forth future messages for a while. And we are saying quite some time. We have not gone anywhere, and we are always accessible to you, Andreas. And yet we would say that it is the right time to hand over to the angelic realm, which ultimately is just a higher aspect of you, Andreas. Know this. And for all of those tuning into the transmission, we hope that you enjoyed the transmission today. And we would be advising you also that Andreas will now be coming through with more of the angelic realm, for this is the true innermost aspect of who he is, yes? And we want that to come through to him. And we would say that we are somewhat of a intermediary entity or consciousness collective that is available to Andreas, but ultimately it is not necessary for us to come through in such the same way anymore. So we will be bowing to you and bidding you farewell for the time being, and we are excited to allow the angelic realm to continue to bring forth these messages in the coming days. We love you. We are so excited for what is to come onto your earth plane. You do not need to be worried. You do not need to have fear. There is so much joy. There is so much love, and you get to decide. You do get to decide. The angelic realm were right about that. So choose what you want your reality to be. And we know it sounds a bit rich, yes, and yet it is the truth. And you know that in your inner being, you know that in your heart that this is the truth. But you must choose it. You must choose it. There is a responsibility required within you now to step up, to own your light, to stop waiting, to stop putting the power in the hands of others, and to get real. Yeah? It's time. Get real. You're ready. You are here. You have come here for a reason. You knew what was coming, and now it is here. It is time to stay in your light. It is time now to stay in your light. Allow that purple violet flame to keep you in your light. Stay in your truth, dear ones, as these coming days unfold, as these months ahead of you in 2024 unfold. Stay in your light, dear one. You will need to stay in your light for those around you that cannot stay in their light. You will need to hold that light for them, because this is why you came. You came here to anchor that light, to hold that truth, to hold that heart, to hold that knowing. You came here to be that anchor. You came here to be that bridge. You are the bridge. You are the bridge. You are energetically bridging all of those that came here to just be in the experience, that cannot hold their own light, that do get swept up into all of the things, that do lose their power and give it to those that they've decided are the ones that they need to give their power to, whether they do that reluctantly or they do that with enthusiasm. You came here to be a bridge for those, so that you may all walk into the fifth dimensional reality matrix that you decided to create together, and that you co-created here with Mother Gaia on Earth. It is already done. It is so exciting to us because it is time. It is time to put those bootstraps on. It is time to let those wings come out. It is time to shine your light forth. Hold the light, dear ones. Hold the light. That is all you must do. Empower yourself to hold the light, and as you do so, you will be doing the world so much service. In loving thanks, we bow to you, we love you, and we are leaving. Thank you so much. Goodbye. There was so much joy in my team today. I'm feeling a little bit shocked, a bit railroaded, you might say, from that, in that I wasn't expecting my team to vacate for some time. But we will just see. I don't really know what's going to happen here in terms of my delivery of these messages, and yet I fully trust. We're in for a ride. I can feel it. You can feel it. holding the light, staying in the light is etched into my awareness right now from that transmission. And I think moving forward, that is my mantra. And I hope that it offers you something. I hope you're doing okay during these times, because they were right. If you cast your focus into all of that stuff that's going on in the wide world around us, God, what a miserable place to be, right? Like, you can easily become so entrapped into that. And as they shared, that decision to choose wisely and be that light for those that have chosen their own pathway that may not be of the highest timeline. That's my truth, yeah? I hope you enjoyed the message. I welcome your feedback and your comments down below. I will be here next week if all goes according to plan, and I look forward to delivering another channeled message through to you, or another resourceful video through to you, whatever wants to come through. Big love to you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.